Hi everyone, it's Paul here from Keyboard World. Here with a short video which actually is a bit of a follow-on from our Keyboard Live show last Friday. I treated myself to a brand new pair of headphones, largely as a result of talking to Tom from Scan Pro Audio here in the UK, who, amongst many other roles within the company, is actually their aficionado on headphones. And I had the pleasure, and it was a pleasure, of talking to him, well, actually letting him talk, let me put it that way, for 40 minutes about headphones and the sort of choices we should all be making relative to what we're spending on keyboards, digital pianos, synthesizers, etc. And I came away with these. Now, I need to say right from the outset, yes, we are an affiliate dealer for Scan Pro Audio, and I will put a link to this product in the description below. But I actually bought these myself, so I am under no obligation to just wax lyrical about them. That said, the fact that I tried them and I then in turn bought them, you're not going to hear too many negatives from me. These headphones come from a company that I hadn't heard of. I will hold my hands up and say before this little chat and before trying these, I'd never heard of them. They're a Chinese company called FiiO, F-I-I-O, and having researched them, they were established in 2007, and they manufacture very high-end hi-fi and audio equipment. And in recent years, they've gone into the world of headphones, but with the same ethics. They want to produce high-quality products. I know that's not what we always associate with China, but these have gained a reputation worldwide, actually. And in recent years, this particular model, the FT1 Pro, have won many awards for the best value for money planar magnetic headphones. Now, I will explain that in just a couple of seconds. But best value planar magnetic headphones under £200. Again, I'm saying here in the UK because I know we get viewers all around the world. So why did I buy them? Look, I never set out last Friday morning with this intention of buying a pair of headphones. And over the last year or so, I've been quite happy with my more budget price. These are sort of, you know, a £60 pair of headphones. And I think the trap you fall into is you try them and you say, oh, yeah, they're good. Yeah, they'll do the job. And purely because up until last week, I had no comparison. I hadn't bothered going out and trying other headphones. So therefore, you get used to the pair that you've got and you assume that is the best quality you're going to get. What I am going to say to you right from the outset of this video is that having tried these and used these on all the keyboards that are in my studio here, and there's many of them, I today have heard things coming from these keyboards genuinely that I've not heard before. Such fine detail. I've heard a much better spread of sound and actually overall a more accurate reproduction of the original samples in these keyboards. I think we all, you know, we buy speaker systems to play our keyboards through at home. And again, we assume that is the best quality. If I was to tell you that the sort of quality of sound that I'm hearing from these, I was reliably informed, you'd have to be spending somewhere in the region of £3,000 to £3,500 on amplification to reproduce the type of sound that you're hearing from these sort of headphones. And that means that, yes, I'm sure we're all very pleased with our keyboards, but we're not hearing the true quality of those original samples through, a lot of times, through the speakers we're playing them through at home. So I said these were planar magnetic headphones. Well, what does that actually mean? The normal ones we would call dynamic headphones, and they have a voice coil and a cone, a little bit like if you take the front off a hi-fi speaker. You see that round cone with the little bit in the middle as well, the little raised bit in the middle. That's typical of a dynamic headphone. Planar dynamic, planar magnetic, I stand corrected. It's a thin, flat diaphragm with a conductive wire embedded into it, and that literally floats in a magnetic field. And this should result in a more uniform and potentially more accurate sound. Now, I got these home, and the first thing I noticed was the box. Now, that might sound silly, but this is a premium quality and feel. You know, some boxes, you open them and they feel flimsy and sort of cheap. This speaks premium straight away. Box is a great quality. I undid the box, and to my pleasant surprise, inside was this semi-rigid carrying case with a nice zip and a carrying handle, inside which were the cables that I need to wire these headphones into my keyboard. So that was a bonus I didn't expect, and it was great. Then we come to the headphones themselves. Now, this little strap here, I'm going to mention that separately in a second. So just for now, imagine that wasn't there. Again, I think you'll know what I'm saying. When you pick a product up, things feel quality, and this does feel quality. They're quite lightweight for headphones. I think these weigh in at about 374 grams, something like that. So they're a nice lightweight headphone. But things like the padding, everything feels premium on it. But of course, the most important thing is the sound. And as soon as I plug these in, you hear what you've spent the money on. Now, these cost me around the £180 mark, approximately. The price can change, obviously, from day to day, but around that sort of mark. Compared to my £60, £70 headphones that I had before, they are absolutely worlds apart. And like I say, I was hearing things on the keyboard that I genuinely hadn't heard up until now. I really can't fault them. I'm sure, well, I know through talking to Tom, there are more expensive headphones around. FiiO make more expensive headphones. There are better sounding headphones around. The problem is, a lot of these real premium price headphones, and let's be honest, you can spend thousands on headphones. The problem is, the world we operate in, a range of keyboards, digital pianos, etc., those instruments can't drive those headphones hard enough to get any noticeable better quality than these. These take very little driving, so you haven't got to be playing at full blast all the time with your volume up to full to actually get the best out of these. These respond nicely at lower volumes as well. The only thing I decided to get as well was this little strap here. Now, this comes from, I'm having to just check this because I can't remember, Capra Audio is a company that make this strap here. Why is that so important? Well, again, it was explained to me that when you sit the headphones on your head, depends on the shape of your head, how much hair you've got, etc., etc., you often find that only a small part of this strap is actually making contact with your head, which leads to what was described to me as a hot spot. So in other words, you're carrying the whole weight of the headphones, although it's not ridiculously heavy, but just over a small area of the strap. Putting this strap on, which just clips on to the aluminium struts at the side here, basically because it's soft and flexible, it then molds to the shape of your head. You can probably see if I can just turn it and hold it out just a little bit. I'm not doing a very good job there. There you go. You can see the wood grain through it. It's vented as well, so you're not going to sweat when that's on. And that will spread that 370 odd grams out over a bigger area, thus making the headphones feel a little bit lighter. This is my only gripe, really. That makes it a little bit more difficult to put straight back in the carry case because you're liable to damage this, but actually it unclips so easily from the side that it's not a real negative. I would urge you to consider something like this because it's made the world of difference to me here. We all go out and we're all quite happy to spend, in many cases, thousands of pounds on these instruments. So why then would we choose to listen to it through a budget pair of headphones? We're not doing that instrument justice at all, and you're certainly not hearing the best from it. You're not getting the best comfort, etc., etc. So yes, as I said, we are an affiliate for Scan Pro Audio. I will put a link in the description below, but I just wanted to share with you my new purchase, and I'm not going to Scan anytime soon because every time I go I end up buying something. But look, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm off to enjoy mine again now, and I'll see you all very, very soon on the next videos. Bye for now.